I stand for open questioning of authorities. I stand for honesty, fact-based reasoning, and debate. I oppose all censorship, including hate speech laws. I reject name-calling and insults. I am Bill Warner. When I went to my inbox recently, a friend had sent me a link to a song that he said was very beautiful. Now, I don't listen to music much anymore. I tend to prefer silence, but it was a friend, so I clicked on it anyway. It was beautiful. As a matter of fact, it was so beautiful that I played it again twice. I said to myself, this is the best of humanity, beauty. But this beauty is haram. It violates Sharia law. Why? Well, listen to what Muhammad said about music and art. Muhammad, listening to music and singing is sinful. Setting at such gatherings is an immoral transgression. Deriving pleasure from it is kufr. Kufr is the thought process of the kafir, which is the worst thing you can do. Muhammad, from among my followers there will be some people who will consider illegal sexual intercourse, the wearing of silk, the drinking of alcohol, and the use of musical instruments as lawful. In other words, the musical instrument is unlawful. Muhammad again, bells are the musical instruments of Satan. Now here's about art. There was once a curtain with pictures of animals on it in Aisha's house. When Muhammad saw it, his face became flushed with anger. He tore it to bits and said, people who paint such pictures will receive hell's most terrible punishment on Judgment Day. Now, since this is what Muhammad thought of art, perhaps you now can understand why you have never heard a great Islamic symphony. You've never seen great Islamic sculpture, great Islamic painting, a great Islamic drama, or singing. You see, a Sharia civilization is very different from ours. Now, politically correct lefties tell me that all civilizations are equal, but I say this is not so. Our civilization is based on unitary ethics and rational creative thought. Unitary ethics mean we treat all people as we would be treated. A Sharia civilization is based on the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad. Now, an Islamic civilization is a Sharia civilization, and it believes in ethical dualism. That is, there's one set of rules for how you treat a Muslim and another set of rules for how you treat the non-Muslims. And Sharia must be civilizational dominance. It dictates what creativity is allowed. Now, political correctness has its own rules, and the iron law of political correctness in cultures is this. All cultures are equally valid. One culture is not better than another. Now, the blasphemy of this is to say that our civilization of art, sculpture, song, painting, and music is superior than a Sharia civilization which forbids art. Yes, I know, Islam has calligraphy and architecture. I can't read the calligraphy, it is beautiful, and the architecture is taken from the Romans and the Persians. That is, they did not invent anything in architecture. Now, when I say that our civilization is better than a civilization which does not allow freedom of expression, this is the new hate speech. Unpleasant facts are hate. Sharia does not allow freedom of thought or expression. No thought is allowed to contradict the Quran or the Sunnah. And any thought that contradicts it is called blasphemy, and it is punishable by death. Now, political correctness has its own blasphemy laws. If you violate them, you're a racist, hater, bigot, Islamophobe. Now, Sharia blasphemy leads to death. Politically correct blasphemy leads to character assassination and censorship, and if possible, to drive the person out of business. Here's how it works for me. I've had a front page article in the Sunday edition from the largest newspaper in Tennessee that I'm a hater and a bigot. Why? Well, because I do what I do. MasterCard won't let me use their logo. YouTube won't monetize me. And Amazon used to sell the #1 best-selling book on Sharia law, which was mine, but after a phone call from the SPLC, my book pretty much disappeared from sales. I'm shadow banned on Twitter and Facebook. Now, both the left and Islam are totalitarian. They want to dictate every action and every word. Let me tell you something. I've never been harmed by Islam or a Muslim. It is the leftists and the progressives, the apologists of Islam, that harm me. Now, I want you to imagine a Europe or a United States that obeys the Sharia laws that destroy art. Imagine a Europe or a United States with no sculpture, no painting, no symphony, no opera, and no songs of any sort. Now, you may be surprised to hear that this experiment has already been done. Afghanistan used to be a Buddhist nation. There was a nation there called Kandahar, which was part Indian and part Greek. Here's what's important. They created all Buddhist art and sculpture. Now when Islam invaded, all that art was gone. When the Taliban destroyed the Bamiyan Buddhas, that was more of Islam and art. Afghanistan is the Sharia future. Now, I know many artists, and they feel themselves a little better than the common man. They're smarter, they're hipper, and they're trendsetters. They know better than anybody. But when it comes to Islam and Sharia and art, they're in complete and total denial. Now, since artists feel themselves superior, they don't listen, and it's hard for them to learn things. Now, they see themselves as independent creative thinkers, but their politics are standard politically correct politics. For instance, they believe in tolerance, even if it means the tolerance of annihilating art. Sharia intolerance. So artists deny that Sharia is anti-art. Now, imagine if artists fought against Sharia anti-art by using art. Remember the Muhammad cartoons? What if there were a mass art movement? This would be like feminists fighting against the Sharia horror of subjugating women. We need to understand something. We're losing the war against Sharia, and this is because we're fearful and timid. We must be bold, and I call upon our artists to be bold as well. Defend your whole tradition of art. Thank you.